You are officially live and live.
Hello, ladies. We'll see how well they hear.
They're going to hear you just fine. They're going to hear you way better than they heard you the last time.
Well, somebody did complain about that.
So, and I don't know if you remember me actually telling you that we should actually use the Yeti because it was going to sound so much better. So, you are officially live to both audiences.
I'm going to log on to my computer too.
No, you're not. Because this isn't at the house.
Ladies, do you love that? This is how this is how Patrick and I talk all the time. Hello. Can I bend that down point it out a little bit?
Go over here? Because that's what messed it up the last time.
Okay, so we've got one viewer.
You had one on YouTube the last time when we said we were.
Hopefully you'll find me. Is this in the So Long page?
Yes.
You're not in Facebook, but you're in the So Long?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, ladies, let's go ahead and talk about getting started. It's Jeannie here from A1, and we are going to be working on the Candy Corn Quilt Shop. I'm super excited. I talked to somebody who was doing it, and they couldn't stop. They started and couldn't stop. So you might start it today, and you might not be able to stop. And wouldn't that be great? And then
it says that we're experiencing issues.
Okay. Where can I see comments and stuff?
So Kathy's there.
Kathy, are you watching on YouTube and it seems to be fine? Because I think we might be having some issues on Facebook. Give us a minute just to get started.
Do not do that.
Yeah.
No, Jeannie, do not do that. That will make it worse.
I did it. I'm home.
We have twice as fast internet. I think you're going to have
Okay. Hi, CJ. How is it? Can you hear? Does everything sound okay? And can you see everything? Robin, it keeps pausing, but otherwise okay. All right. Then we'll do our best with this. I sent you a little outline.
I think you're going to have to do this from home.
So Patrick is saying he thinks we're going to have to do this from home because we have faster internet there. So I'm just going to ask you to kind of suffer through it today. And from now on, I'll be at home. I'm on Facebook and it's fine. So
YouTube, Kathy's saying YouTube is fine too.
YouTube, it seems to be that we have more problems on Facebook than we have YouTube. So if you are experiencing problems, just open another screen and see if you can get to YouTube. And then we'll just work that way. We are going to start with pumpkin pincushion. And you are perfect. Thanks, CJ. You're perfect too. All right, so we're going to get started with pumpkin pincushion, and it's super cute, and it's on page 33. So let's go ahead and turn to page 33 in our book, and you're going to see there are 3 different pincushions. So you want to make sure you grab the right fabric for this, which is going to be that, I don't even know what you call this, but that little like latticey pattern or patchworky pattern, and then that's the purple print. And then your background fabric, of course. So I went ahead and organized everything. I have my bag here, and this is going to have all my, section 1 stuff. And I'm just going to get this out. And what we're going to be using, it's going to be this piece right here. That's your background. And it is directional, so when we lay it in, you want to put it in this way. I mean, you could put it in sideways, but I think it'll look better if you put it in this way. So go ahead and put it in that way. And for the embellishment, the pincushion pieces, we are going to be using the 3 by 3.5, so we're going to be using this one. And I like to have my a ruler or something, so just in case there's something else. Oh, that is 3.5 by 4. So, there we go. Yeah, 3.5 by 4. And then you're also going to be using this piece right here. And this should be my 3.5 by 3. And that is perfect too. So these are the pieces that you're looking for. So go ahead and grab those. I'm going to grab... I brought my little container so I could put my pins away. Let's stay organized, ladies. Are you able to hear okay too? Because I am doing it with the mic, the Yeti mic instead of my phone mic this time. So hopefully you can hear better, because I did have a complaint about that with the prep video. So just let me know, give me feedback, and we'll try and improve it as we go. Okay. We are going to...
Paula's having trouble getting on.
Who is?
Paula?
She needs to go to the sew along. Are we having people having trouble getting on?
Yeah, it's Paula. So just she
She
needs
needs to go to her Facebook page and go to the sew along.
Okay, I don't know if you heard that.
And I sent them a link
Okay, and she sent you a link too, so
that she should be able to just go there.
They're all my
Ask
favorite colors.
Patrick to help her.
He's got 3 people waiting.
Okay. Well, can you help her find it? Walk her through it? All right. Okay. We are going to be working the hoop size, and it says right down here. So we're going to be working in the 4x4. If yes, Miss Debbie, you are in the right spot. There's a link. Yes, there is a link. Thank you, Rolo. I try. I really try. I'm going to go slow so people can, I think people are just kind of getting on. So it's asking us to do the 4x4. If you are ambitious, you could go ahead and do all of these in like a 6x10 hoop if you wanted, but we're just going to go ahead and do them one at a time. Later on for your homework, you can do it however you want, and even now you can. You could just have me in the background. So here's our 4x4 hoop, and these are your instructions. So I am using tearaway. I just like using the tearaway instead of the no-show mesh because I feel like it's easier to work with and I can just pull it away. If you want to use the no-show mesh, that's what they're recommending. But for all my quilts, I've just used the tearaway. Whatever works for you, whatever makes your heart happy, I want you to use. I'm going to walk you through the steps right here. And when I go through my instructions, I will highlight any of the specialty material. So they're recommending that you use your flex foam, which is going to give it a little bit of dimension. Can hear great. Oh, no need headphones this time. Oh, good, Sheila. I did see that message from before. So we hooked up a different speaker this time. So you should have an embellishment kit. So grab your embellishment kit. And in your embellishment kit, there is going to be some flex foam that looks like this. And it's your cushy foam. So grab that. Everyone's calling the store right now because everyone's in a panic trying to get on. I tried, ladies. I tried. Okay, so these are the instructions. I just want to read these to you before we get started. So what you're going to do is you're going to mark the center of the background fabric. We're going to cut the stabilizer larger than the embroidery hoop. We're going to tape the fabric to the center of the stabilizer, and then we're going to hoop with center marks in the center of the hoop. What page? Debbie, we are on page 33. 33. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for joining us. All right. I am just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a piece. Oh, my God. If you guys were on the live feed this morning, I injured my finger. And it hurts. It hurts. So I just squeezed it to something right now. So I don't mark my fabric. What I do with my fabric is I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cut my stabilizer so it's going to fit. What I like to do is just finger fold it. So I'm going to go ahead and just fold it. Stephanie, did you have problems finding it? What do I need to do to make it easier? And I'm just going to finger fold it right here on the edges, really, because that's where I want to see it. You can go ahead and friction it. Just watching today. Hi, Miss Joyce. Okay, and it wants you to go ahead and tape it down to the center of this. So I like transport tape. It's my favorite. I bought a roll of it with me. Where is it? Oh my God. That was me hitting. Here it is. And I'm going to just tape it down. So if you're just joining us, you are going into your all your stuff for section 1, this background fabric, and make sure you tape it down so it looks like this. Make sure you're not putting it in sideways. It'll just look better. And then you're grabbing, I'll show you the 2 pieces. And I'm just going to tape it down just here on the sides. So I know it's hard to see, but I can see my finger folds. You can see them this direction especially. And this direction. And you're going to have tons of room. You know how generous Kimberbell is with their fabric. So don't worry if it's not hooped perfectly in the center. And then I'm just going to open up my hoop. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to just kind of lay this down and see how you have your centering marks on your hoop. You have your center marks here and you have a vertical center, and you always want to make sure that the arrow, there's a little arrow there, and I know it's hard to see, but you want to make sure that is pointing straight up. So I'm just going to kind of lay it down there, and I'm going to push it into my hoop. Make sure you flip it to the back side, and this is all even. You don't have to flip it over, but just feel it with your fingers and make sure that inner hoop is flush with the outer hoop. What you don't want is the inner hoop too far up, and you don't want it to pop out in the middle of your embroidery. I'm just going to pull this in a little bit, and that looks good to me. We are ready to embroider. I hit my embroidery arm. So I'm sitting in a chair and I swung it around and I hit my embroidery arm. If you do that, my recommendation to you is to just assume you knocked it off of out of calibration. I'm going to turn mine off and back on again just to make sure it's not stitching an inch too low or an inch too high. And I think we're good. We're going to go ahead and load our design. And the color threads you're going to need. Anytime, if you're new to Kimberbell, anytime you see a box that looks like that, that's a neutral color, so it really doesn't matter. It'll show you when it recommends a color thread. And it'll tell you if it needs a bobbin change, and there'll be special, I don't want to say instructions, but special notes if there's something you really have to watch out for. It's never fast enough, is it? I want you to go ahead and just pop in a white pre-wound bobbin. I already have one in there. Your pre-wound bobbins are lighter weight than your embroidery thread, and that's the perfect combination. I am on a Solaris today, and here's my candy corn quilt shop. I'm going to go to my embroidery files, and we are looking for the quilt right here. And there is our pincushion. Let's just make sure they all look the same. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and touch that and set it. And I'm going to go ahead and hit embroidery. All right. Any questions? I am checking. Hi, Paula. So, Paula, all we did was we hooped up our fabric, this background fabric. I just loaded our design. We're starting out with this pincushion right here. We're in a 4x4 hoop. And I'm going to go ahead and slide this on. Have your pre-wound bobbin in there. And color doesn't matter right now. Usually when it tells me color doesn't matter, I will put in the first color that is going to matter. So there is this kind of darker orange. I'm going to go ahead and put that right now in. And that way when I get there, I'll be all set and ready to go. I don't know about you guys, but I had trouble deciding which orange I thought was going to be best. So I just brought an array, brought an assortment. Let me put this right here. And I think I'm going to go with kind of this bright orange. Hi, Miss Audrey from Tennessee. Ain't no place I'd rather be. Do you have blue skies out there? No smoke like here. Shows a good year to go. Okay, remember your color doesn't matter. And what I find when we do these sew-alongs, half of you are going to be ahead of me, half of you are going to be behind me. If it gets too fast, don't worry, you can always watch this back and just do it at your own speed. So we are on step number 1 here, and it says stitch the flex foam placement line, and then you're going to place your foam. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. And I want you to get your flex foam. So, ladies, I have this huge bag of stuff that's left over from my other Kimberbell projects. So I have flex foam in here that was left over. I'm going to grab that first, and then I take my big pieces and then I put them in the bag. So just grab your flex foam. I have one right here that's going to be perfect. Oh, actually it's not. It's too small. So let me give the one that came with it. There's 2 pieces, so don't stack them down together. Your instructions say to place it. I'm just going to hold it down and it should be fine. So I'm going to place it. Make sure you're going outside of your lines, but I wouldn't put it right in the middle. Just put it over here on the edge somewhere. And we are going to trim this right at the stitch. And then you can go ahead and hit start, or put your foot down and hit start. And it's going to do the tack down. This is step 2. And you want a good pair of applique scissors. Whoop! That was my book. And I like it because they not only give you the written instructions, but they're going to show you pictures here too. So that was step 1. That's step 2, and the second part of step 2 is we're going to go ahead and trim it. And it says to trim your foam close to the stitch. So go ahead and trim that. I'm going to slide this out. I'm a lefty. I'm a righty, and I cut with my left hand. So, but I can cut with my right hand too, which I was doing this morning because my finger was hurting me so badly. You want to trim it close to the stitch, but don't cut the stitches. If you do, it's not a big deal because you are going to, it's going to get covered over with fabric. I like to do it like this so I can kind of twirl my hoop around as I go. I don't know about you ladies, but I have been so excited about this quilt. It's so clever. I'm excited about the little gravestones. Okay. If you want to come in a little bit closer, you can, but I think this is going to be fine. I think we're good. So trim it up. I'm checking messages if you have any questions. I'm not looking at the screen all the time, so I'll try and get to you. And we're going to slide that hoop back on. That was like the second part of step 2. We are in step 3, and it says stitch the pincushion A placement line and place pincushion A fabric right side up. So it's going to do this right here. So just go ahead and hit start. And the fabric you're going to grab is going to be the print. So we're going to grab the print that has the writing on it. I am a big spray adhesive girl. You're going to find in the instructions it says to use tape, but what I swear by is KK Benold, and it's what the pros use. So I never spray at my machine because I don't want my spray to get over here. So I have a spray box, so I'm going to just go kind of off screen. Give it a little spray. You don't want to use a ton of spray. Like, I don't want you putting it on like your Aquanet in the 80s. Don't do that, ladies. And this fabric is directional, so pay attention to that. I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And that is the end of step 3. Step 4 is going to be the tack down. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. And you're going to want to get your scissors, your applique scissors, because we're going to go ahead and trim. It does say to trim close to the stitch. I kind of go between all my tools. I'm going to use this, which are just my Femore snips. And this is the next piece of fabric that's going to get placed down. So go ahead and find this one. Okay, we're going to take that out. Remember, you're cutting the things that you're going to leave. You're leaving this fabric, this, and this. Cut everything else out. I love the snips because they're like spring loaded, so you can just pinch them. They're easy on the hands. Nice and close to the stitch. How are we doing? How's the pace, ladies? Anyone just joining us? Anyone feeling overwhelmed? If you need help, let me know. If you make a mistake, it's okay. That happens. Sometimes I feel like that's all I do. You ever have days like that? Be careful about cutting the fabric behind, the flex foam behind. And this will give it a nice dimensional look. Isn't that cute? Look at it. I just love Kimberbell. Okay, I'm gonna slide my hoop back on. So we just finished this step, just to make sure you know where we're at. We're here on step 5. Stitch the pincushion B placement line and place your pincushion B fabric right side up and tape it into place. Again, I'm going to spray, then we're going to tack down and trim. So, and you can always confirm on your screen where you are if you get confused. Hi, Miss Kimberly. Right over here, this tells you what step you're on. So I'm on step 5 of 14, and I know I'm on a baby lock. But if you're in the brother, the screen will look almost exactly the same. So I'm not putting anything down. I'm just doing the tack down, the placement. But you can always, all machines, I think almost all machines will kind of give you an idea of where you're at. I'm going to give this a little shot of spray on the back. Okay, I'm going to lay this down. And I'm just going to hit start again. And it's going to satin stitch it, that's why the color doesn't make a difference. After you stitch this down, you're going to trim. So ladies, I was going to do a video with the half square triangles to make the pinwheels. And I injured my finger last night, so I couldn't even cope with anything. But I will do that tonight or tomorrow. I'll do it in the next couple of days, so I'll send that to you or I'll post it on the site in case you need help with that, in case you've never done them before. All right, we're going to trim up. And I'm going to peek under here and just make sure I'm not trimming anything I shouldn't be trimming. And close to the stitch. You don't want it to be far from the stitch because then you'll have threads that are going to stick out underneath the satin stitch. And it really makes a difference having the right tools. So if you see anything today that I'm using that you want, just contact me. I feel you. Oh no, Kathy, did it not come? I popped it in the mail and you live here in Reno, so I thought you would get it just that day. I'm so sorry. Are you just watching this one and you'll do this one later? Or you could do, let me see. You could do the one, I would just do the one that has the polka dots. So you're, it doesn't make a difference when we go to put it together. I'm trying to read your messages or at least check in on them. All right. Look how cute that is. Okay, I'm going to slide that back on. That was this step right here. So we just did the second part of 6. Now we're going to do all the satin outline. So you're going to put your orange in first. Orange, then we're going to do green, then orange, and then gray. So let's go ahead. I'm going to leave, I'm going to leave the orange I have in there right now, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. Hang on one second. I'm going to see if I have one that's a little darker. I like this one. Make sure you cut it on the side, ladies. That's gonna cut it to the perfect length so you won't have a little loop that you have to pull out. Okay, that's gonna be 5 minutes of stitching with this. And then go ahead and get your green thread that's gonna be for the stem. I'm gonna use this right here. And find the right gray, because your gray is, I like to have all my threads lined up. Right here, you want to be able to, let's see if it'll zoom in. See that, like, the little needle? You want a good gray. This one I feel like it's too dark. I'm not even going to see it. And I have a darker one too. I think I want one that's a little bit lighter. Check my speed, because this looks like, oh, I'm at full speed, so I'm just going to keep going. You know, I brought all my colors, but I still didn't find the one I wanted. I think that one's good. This is like a nice light gray. I'm going to use that. So if you're done with the outline, ladies, just go ahead and stitch your stem. Then you're going to stitch the cushion part 2 satin outline. You could use the same orange or you could use a different orange, whatever makes you happy. And then you're going to do the pin and needle detail. I'll show you how to trim these up. When we're stitching out the next one, we'll trim this one with the pop rulers if you have them. Don't you love how, like, it's cushy? So cute. Alright, I'm going to put my green in for this stem. Back this up just a little so I can get my hand in here. And then I'm going to be using this brown, this, which is kind of like a burnt orange. And then I'll use this, which is kind of a brighter orange. So I'm going to alternate those two. I mean, it looks like they use the same one, so you can do whatever you want. We are on step number 9, and that is going to be the other part of the pincushion. So you're going to go back to orange.
Is everything working back here?
We're good.
I would encourage anybody, because I mean, it looks like YouTube is perfect, and it looks like Facebook is
Imperfect.
imperfect.
Patrick's saying he'd encourage.
Like there's 0 drop frames or anything in.
So Patrick says there's 0 drop frames in YouTube. So if you feel like you're getting drop frames or it's pausing or any of those things, you might want to just watch on YouTube.
Our YouTube channel.
Where, you can just go to our YouTube channel. And I think I had that link in the video. And for some reason my thread broke. So I'm going to go ahead and rethread that. Hey Patrick. So if your thread breaks and you're new to Baby Lock and Brother, you can just go in here, and I'm going to go back 10 stitches, and I'm going to hit OK, so it gives me my color list again. And let's just start again. If it breaks again, I will change my needle. I brought my favorite 7511s, my Madeira anti-glue. And then after this color, you're going to want to get your, whatever gray you want to use that is going to stitch out your, it'll stitch out your, all your pins and your needles that are going to be sticking up. Watching you? Why are you watching you? I'm trying to read the comments. Oh. how are we doing with our pacing? Are we all kind of together? Am I going too fast? Am I going too slow? Like I said, half of you will think I'm going too fast and half of you will think I'm going too slow. Sometimes I'm the slowest one. And then I have to go really, really fast to catch up because I'm trying not to leave anyone behind. I want to make sure all my ladies are taken care of. Oh, Paula is with me. Paula is super speedy girl. So, we're doing, Stephanie says I'm doing fine. Thank you, Stephanie. I just love our sew-alongs. I think they're so much fun and it gets me to stay on track and do my quilt. There's my first pin and there's going to be little toppers on these. Miss Audrey's right with me. Kathy says we're going a little fast. All right, Miss Kathy, I'm going to tell you what to have next, so you'll have it ready. And, you know, make sure your machine, we're not doing anything too challenging. Make sure your machine's set to 1,050 stitches per minute. If you have that feature, if you're at whatever your fastest speed is. Let's all go fast. Thank you. Hi, Miss Judy. After you do these, you're going to need your orange again. And it is going to do your pincushion divots. So right at the base of the pins where they go on, there are going to be little divots there. So just get your orange ready. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take out my gray. I'm going to put my orange back in. And go ahead and hit start and let's do the divots. Yeah, I don't know, Sheila, I don't know why they don't have you do that either. Because I think they have all that orange all in the same color. So, I can't even begin to answer that. You have these little threads. I'm so impatient. I'll start cutting as we're stitching. Okay, so you're gonna need like a yellowy gold detail. So I brought a couple different color choices, but you could go bright yellow, but I brought this to go ahead and do that. I also brought this. I think I'm going to do this one. Or you could do a brighter yellow too, whatever you want. What's going to show more? I'm going to do this one. And I know some of you got the thread kits. It's always nice having the thread kit because then you don't have to think. This is just going to do a little thread detail that goes through the eye of the needle. And then we're going to go back to orange and then to purple. Right, I'm going to take that out. We're going to put orange back. I have a feeling, ladies, you are going to have some homework. So I'll be stitching probably this weekend, finishing up. Sometimes I get really motivated and I just will do it tonight. So we're going to do orange, and then I have this really pretty, it's not really purple to me. It's like a, I don't know what color it is. To me, this is purple. And this is, what would you call this one? But I'm going to use this one, or this one. I'm going to go back and forth between those. So I'm going to take this out, and we're going to put in our purpley color, and then we are done with this one. We're going to put it to the side. I'm going to show you how to trim it down. Let me get up here. Sorry. Using my thread stand because I'm using a king cone. And that is it. We are finished with our first block. Let's take it out. I always like to look at the instructions just to make sure I'm not supposed to do one last thing before we take it out of the hoop. But that was it. You can remove your block from the hoop. I'm using, like I said, I'm using tearaway, so I'm going to take off all that backing. But I'm going to do that while the other one is stitching out. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pop this out of the hoop. And I am done with this one. And then I'll show you how to finish that up. Let's come on back over here. Sorry. And let's get our supplies for the next one. And if you're finishing up that other one, just go ahead and finish it up. Our next one is going to be Show and Share Sign, and that's on page 24. So I'm going to grab my book. Let's go ahead and turn to page 24. It's going to be this one right here. And you're going to get your background fabric, which is going to be on the 6.5 by 10.5. So here's our background fabric. You're going to have one, or you have two skinny ones. You have two fat ones. We're grabbing one of the skinny ones. Okay, don't grab the fat one. That's going to be for our, I think that's for our witches. So we're going to grab this. Or I'm not sure. I have to look at our list to see. And then if you're not sure again, I want you to grab your ruler. And I want you to put it down on here. And this is, my ruler's 6.5, so I know this is right to 10.5. Double check before you use it. So I'm going to grab this. The other thing I'm going to need is my sign fabric, which is 4 by 3.5, and I think it's just black fabric. So I'm going to pull this to the side. Let's try and tidy up a little bit. And let me grab my stack right here. We're looking for a black piece, and the black piece should be 4 by 3.5. So I think it's going to be this one here. me get my ruler and just check. That is 4.5 by, sorry, 4 by 3.5. Perfect. That's the piece I want. So there's my 4 by 3.5. And then you also need glitter. So you need 2 by 2. So get your embellishment kit. I put in my directions. I don't pre-cut my embellishments because I find that you have so much left. And that's just going to be the purple. And I have so much purple. I'm just going to grab it out of my bag. So I'm just going to get started with this. Gwen says, how does the needle and pin look like? It's two-tone, just the lighting. And it could be the angle of the stitches. It's showing the fabric through the stitching, or did you use a variegated silver black thread? I did not. Here, I'm going to hold it up. So this was like a running stitch, and then this one was like a satin stitch. So it's just the different type of stitch that it used that made it look that way. So I'm going to put that to the side. And we are going to hoop up. We are using our 5 by 7 hoop. Let me go ahead and put this to the side, this to the side, because we know which one we're doing right now. I'll try and keep neat and tidy, but Michelle just stopped by. She liked the pincushion. She's been so excited about this quilt. If you don't know Michelle Gilmartin, she's one of our educators, and Halloween is her favorite holiday. All right, there's my piece of tearaway. And the directions are going to be the same. With this one, it's going to say mark the center of the background fabric, cut stabilizer larger than the hoop, tape your fabric to the center, and then we're going to hoop it. So I'm just going to grab my fabric right here. I'm going to fold it. Remember, I just like to finger press just on the edges. This will be easier for you to see. Just going to press it here. And I'm an aggressive finger presser. I always say I fingernail press. I don't finger press. And then I am going to do this one. And this. Okay, I'm just going to tape it to the center. And you can see my center lines pretty well, right? Instead of frictioning them, because you know I love my friction, and then I love my is it Mark Be Gone, that clover disappearing, or water soluble. Like, I love those, but I like this because then I don't have to worry about getting rid of that mark. Okay, same thing with this hoop. You're gonna have centering marks on the vertical and horizontal, and an arrow on the top, because those two arrows should point to each other. I had somebody come in the other day and they were having trouble with their embroidery, and they had their hoop like this. So I always tell people it should be like a bowl, like it should kind of go like this. So let me go ahead and grab this, and I'm centering my marks. And I'm just going to grab this right here. Just over there. Thanks, babe.
Do you want chips? Want me to open them for you?
Patrick's coming in to feed me. That's more for his self-preservation than mine.
Feed me.
What's that from?
Little Shop of Horrors.
He can reference like any movie. I didn't even know he watched that. Again, check your hoop. Make sure the inner hoop is flush with the outer hoop. And this looks pretty good. You can tighten, hand tighten, and then I do have my hoop tightener. If you don't have one of these, you need one because they're so wonderful. I don't over tighten. You just want to tighten where you can't turn it by hand, and then that's perfect. There we go. It looks good. I have a little bubble here, but I'm not worried about it. And let's go ahead and take this over to the machine. Neutral thread color. We're going to do a placement stitch for the sign. Place your fabric. The first color we're going to see is black. So I'm just going to put my black in right now. Let's come on over to the machine. Let's load our design. I'm going to go home. Embroidery. Go to my USB. Candy quilt. How are we doing, ladies? We good? Let's load that design. Embroidery files. PES. And we are looking. I can't wait to do the little sewing machine, and then we add whatever machine you have. Wait, was this it? This one right here. So it's that one, and go ahead and hit set. I'm going to slide my hoop on. And I'm going to put, I like to hold it here and then push it so it doesn't move my arm or my hoop at all. Like, you don't want to knock it off calibration. And I'm going to grab my black thread. I have so many like small little black threads. I'm hoping to get through some of those so I can consolidate. I think I've gotten them with so many different thread kits. Okay, I'm looking for comments if anyone needs help. I'm going to go ahead and hit embroidery on my screen. And the first thing it wants to do is it says stitch the sign placement line and then place your sign fabric right side up. I'm going to spray my fabric on the back, but I'm going to go ahead and hit start first after I get all these curls out of my thread. There we go. Here's my black fabric. Kind of see through that, huh? I'm going to give it a little shot of spray. Oh, it's the trimming, Kathy. The trimming takes you a while. I'll try and trim a little slower. Okay, I'd rather you trim and have it look nice than trim fast and have it not look nice. So let's go ahead and push that down. And step 2 says, stitch the sign tack down line, trim fabric close to the stitch. Are you using, if I just have thin fabric, I always use these. I think these are quickest and easiest. And if I'm trimming something like this, sometimes I don't even pull the hoop out. Because I can trim with my right hand and I can trim with my left hand. Both equally well. All right, I'm going to pull this out. Here comes the trimming, Kathy. All right, ready? Let's go ahead and just trim it up. And I'm just switching them from hand to hand. Because I think it's easy to do them with both. I don't know. I wonder if it's easy for me because I'm mostly right-handed. So maybe my right hand skills are, maybe I have mad right hand skills that makes it so I can do both. Okay, I'm going to slide this back on. If you look at your screen, we're on step 3 of 7. And that's going to be to stitch the signpost fill and satin outline. You know, sometimes when you have little stuff, like little scrolly stuff like this, do you see that right there? It's not telling me to put a black bobbin in, but I'm just going to put one in so I don't have to get any pulling. I like to just be on the safe side because it drives me crazy when I see My bobbin threading, you just do sometimes. Like if you have black lettering, I would definitely put in a matching bobbin. So I'm just going to throw in a black bobbin. I actually thought I had one that was started. Let me do this. Michelle made it beautiful in here before I started, and you should see it. Looks like my teenage daughter's room. And do you have to do this now? But I just worry about the little scroll stuff, the really delicate stuff. So I'm just going to match my bobbin. It'll just ensure that it's going to look perfect. Oh, Paula, I feel your pain. I have like, I think I have 4 pairs of snips, and I have 2 that I know where they are right now, and the other 2 I have no idea. And while this is stitching, I'm going to just tidy up a little bit. This is 10 minutes of stitching, ladies. And I want you to heat up your iron so I can show you how to finish off the pincushion. And I don't want you to worry about puckers because we're going to be using a wool mat, or else you can use an OESD press cloth. Puckers used to stress me out, but not anymore because I just press them out. The only time I'm a little stressed about them is when I have some kind of directional fabric with like straight lines or something like that. Because I'm getting a little pucker with this, but don't worry about it. Okay, while it's stitching this out, I'm going to grab my little pincushion. I'm coming over here to my ironing station, and I'm going to go ahead and just rip off my stabilizer. My favorite tearaway is, I love Baby Lock's firm. Because they have a firm and a soft, and you would think the soft is going to be easier to rip out, but it's not. The soft is like more fibrous, and it's harder to rip. The firm just rips away so easily. And then for the little bits in here, I like to use the tip of a pair of scissors that's not too sharp. And I'm heating up my iron right now because I'm going to best press this. Don't trim your blocks until you press them. You want to press first and then trim. You want to have some best press or some steam. I like to use best press. You don't want to press these dry. You'll get a better result if you have a little bit of moisture. And ladies, this is how I do it. If you have a way that you love to do it, and you're like, I would never do that, well, do your way. I want you to be happy. get this a little shot of best press from the back. I'm gonna take off my tape so that doesn't get ironed. You don't want that. And there's a little bit of puckering, but just go ahead and spray it. This fabric is somewhat dimensional, so I will go one direction and then I'll do the other direction. I don't go all over the place. Come in this way. And look how like just gorgeous and flat that is. Now if you have specialty fabric on here, then you might want to use a press cloth, but I'm ready to trim that down. In my supply list, I said that I was going to be using tearaway. The book recommends no-show mesh, but I just find the tearaway easier and maybe a little less bulky for me. So it's really up to you, but it does say to use no-show mesh in your instructions. So if that's what you're using, that's totally fine. What page and what design are you doing now? The design that we're doing now, and you might want to, for the next one that we do, this was the supply list that I sent you, and I printed it out so I knew what design and what page. I put it all on your list, but I'm just seeing your note right now, Debbie. So it's show and share, and it's page 24. So to trim this down, we're multitasking, ladies. Your instruction book says, and that was from 33. It says here to use your 4.5 by 4.5 pop ruler. Buttons will be added after the quilt is completed. This is my 4 by 4. I'm gonna put over here so I can see. This is my Martelli mat because Kimberly Heiss says that her mat was so great, and this is the one that she had. But I was like, I'm gonna try it, and I love it. I'm gonna turn this over because I did put the little non-slip grips on it, and I think it wants us to center it. Let's make sure that we're doing it right, because you can only cut it once. Don't get a second chance. Going back to my page 33, and on page 34, it looks pretty centered between here and here. So I like to just take my ruler, and this is what, half an inch. I'm gonna visually kind of center it. That looks pretty good to me. And what I like to do is I like to push my ruler in. I'm going to stand up and do this. Take it right here. I'm going to push my ruler in, lean it over to the left a little bit, and turn. I'm going to do my next cut. Watch your finger. Make sure it's not overhanging. That's what I did, and then I just sliced it on Sunday. That was fun. I hated my pop rulers in the beginning because I didn't know to like lean my blade kind of to the left. And so I just kind of went and cut into my block. And I was like, this is horrible. And I just like never used them. And then I said, let's try it again. But you need to give a little pressure into the left side so you stay against that. And if you don't get the very corner, that's okay. Just come back in and that is how you do your block. Press it, and then you are going to trim it. If you don't have a pop ruler, if you don't have the pop ruler set, number one, you can get them here. Number 2, you could just use this and kind of center it 4.5 by 4.5, and then you can cut it and just use a regular ruler. If you have square rulers, that would be great. So just get all your rulers and just have them available. This block is done. We are still stitching our sign. If you don't like stitching and cutting, just cut later. I'm just showing you how we do it. This is how we do it, ladies. Oh, look it. Our timing was perfect. Let's look at our instructions. All right, I'm going back to page 24. And we just finished step number 3, which was to stitch the signpost in satin outline. Now it still wants you to use, actually now we're going to purple thread. So stitch the lollipop light placement line and place your lollipop light glitter. You want to take the plastic coating off of that. I'm going to switch back to my white thread. I stitch black just with my black embroidery thread, but other than that, I pretty much use white. I'm going to put this back in. Okay. You want some purple. I have this big old piece of purple from before. So to get the protective coating, you want to take that off. This just has Sharpie on it. Don't worry about it. I like to just bend it back onto the side that has the protective coating, and then I'm just going to pull it back. I'm not even going to pull it back all the way because I'm just going to use that much. All right, I'm going to put my purple thread up on top. Oh my God, I just hit my finger. So painful. Let me go ahead and thread this up. And this is the lollipop light placement line. Let me go ahead and pull that little loop out and hit start. You're going to place your glitter, and you're going to place it glitter side up. So I'm just going to pull this back again. And I'm just going to do mine right here because, I mean, look at that. You have all of this from before. I'm going to just put that down. And sometimes I do tape my glitter down. I find that if I spray my glitter, I'm just going to pull this off. I'll put it back. It soaks through, like it soaks through my leather and it soaks through my glitter. Momo hair. All right. I like to have about 1/8 of an inch around my glitter because usually when you use glitter, it'll say trim as desired. Let's see what it says here. Stitch the lollipop line, placement line, place your lollipop light glitter, stitch the tack down line, trim glitter as desired. So I feel like a broken record, but anytime I see that, I get my curved straight. These are the scissors I like to use when I'm stitching, cutting as desired. Not the curved, because it's hard to get kind of a straight line. So I'm going to back this up. I take this out. And take off my tape. And I am going to trim around this and leave about 1/8 of an inch. I don't trim right to the stitch. And if you just turn your hoop gently as you're trimming, it makes it easy. I'm looking at the instructions. It does want you to press, so heat up your iron. Mine's already hot. Go ahead and heat your iron up. If you have a Teflon pressing sheet, get that out. I use a Goddess Teflon pressing sheet. All right. So what we did here is we did step number 5, and it said trim glitter as desired. Now we're here and it says press glitter with a warm iron using a pressing cloth. And then we're going to stitch the lollipop light swirl, and that's going to be in white. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take this over to my ironing station right over here. Oh my God, my book just ripped. I thought I'd be able to make it a couple of sessions, but nope. I'm going to put this back on here and throw it back in my bag of goodies. Where's my pressing Teflon pressing sheet? And there's lots of different pressing sheets. This is mine, and I cut it with my rotary cutter at one point. You like that? And I love this iron because it will fit in my 5x7 hoop, and I'm just going to hold it down right here. And I want to say the instructions say like 15 seconds. I usually find like 10 is enough. And that should be good. If you touch it and it's really hot, then you've done your job. All right. We're going to come back to the machine. Here we go. Slide my hoop back on. Go get my ripped instructions. And it says right here, stitch the lollipop light swirl. And then that's step 6. And then stitch the show and share. You know what? I mean, it's showing here this. I don't know if the instructions are wrong because it says to do it in white, but it's showing it in purple. For step number 6, I'd leave your purple thread still in there because I think it's going to look better than the white, and then we'll switch to white. So step number 6, use purple. Let's see and it's purple here too. Okay, leave that purple in. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Don't leave it in because it wants the white on top of the purple. Put your white in. Okay, I'm going to get my white thread. White's going on the purple. So you do want white. Okay, you're going to do the white swirl on the purple glitter. And then you're going to do the white in the sign. Sometimes when I'm doing lettering in a sign, I will switch my thread to, I'll switch it to a thinner thread for more definition. So So I have a set of thread that's 60 weight. But I'm looking at the lettering here and it doesn't seem too bad, so I'm just gonna leave it. And then you can just hit start again. I'm gonna get this thread out of here. This will drive me crazy. And then I'm just gonna hit start. Okay, this is gonna be 4 minutes of stitching. While it's stitching this, let's get our material for the next block. Next one we're gonna do is M.E. Witch, page 26. M.E. Witch. How cute is that? Okay, here we go. We're gonna do this witch right here. And we want the 8.5 by 10.5 background piece. It's one of your big ones, not the skinny one. So you want this as your background. You're gonna use black glitter for the hat. Everything else is gonna be thread. So I'm gonna grab some black glitter. I don't have any in my scrap bag, so I'm going to grab my black glitter out of here. And some of you may have trimmed all your applique pieces already, your embellishment applique pieces. Black glitter. Here we go. Looking good. Okay, so we have this and this, and we are going to be working in the 5x7 hoop again. Let's come back over to our embroidery. It's looking good. Hang on a second. Let me rethread that. Stephanie, you know, I usually don't do a class discount for the sew-alongs, but what the heck? Let's just do it. So just email me and I'll pull a set of those aside for you. It's worth having. If you do a lot of Kimberbell, definitely have it. I'm going to go back 10 stitches. But send me an email to remind me. So if you want to add the basting box, I'll show you on the next one, CJ. I'll show you the buttons to do that. I could have just given him to Don. Can you believe we've already been stitching for an hour and 26 minutes? I mean, we had to start off a little bit, but it goes so fast. That's it, ladies. Let's go ahead and take this out. I'm going to pop it out, and we're going to hoop up for the next one. While we're stitching that one, we'll go ahead and take out the stabilizer and trim this one up, but let's pop this out. Before I do that, I always like to look at my instructions, make sure I'm not missing anything. My biggest fear is I'm going to have you do something that you shouldn't do. Remove from the hoop. We're done. Let's pop them out. And our next one, which is going to be, I think it was Emmy Witch on page 26. Hooping instructions are the same. I always check this because every once in a while they're going to be different, but this one's going to be the same. And our first color we're going to stitch is going to be black. Let's go ahead, and we're working in our 5x7. Right here it tells us 5x7. So we grab our stabilizer. Let's put our 5x7 here. I asked him that, Stephanie. I go, oh, did Stephanie not come because you didn't want her in the store by herself? I asked Dawn that. All right. Here is our stabilizer. Again, I'm just going to finger press. How are you guys doing with that? Do you prefer to mark it, or is just finger pressing it working for you too? I just go, you know, and I don't know about you ladies, but sometimes when we turn off the heat in the store, like we're away for a weekend or something like that, and I come back and it's cold, I'll see the marks on some of my projects that I used friction pen on. And you can just, like, you know, now I know I steam it down into my fabric. I use steam so it like gets buried in there. But, you know, it does show a little bit sometimes. So I'm going to center this to my stabilizer. I'm going to get my tape. Sometimes the husbands come and pick up stuff because they don't trust their wives to come in the store. Hi.
Hello. So I have half of these in black. Did you want me to do the other half in purple?
Yep.
Or, yeah. Okay. Well, I wanted to make sure.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, now I'm just gonna hoop. I like to kind of put this on here, get this lined up, and this lined up, and then kind of hold it like this, and I'll do the top, and then work my hands down to the bottom. Oh my God, it's tight. Let me loosen that up a little bit. Okay. Just pull this on. It has whatchamacallit on it. It has shape flex on it too. Your fusible woven. Looking good. Gonna flip it to the back. Just make sure everything is nice and flush. And I will tighten it the tiniest bit. Or yes, Paula, you could just eyeball it. Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, why do all the folding? Just eyeball it, right? You're going to have plenty left over until you don't. But that's like living on the edge, Paula. You're so exciting. All right, slide on that hoop, ladies. And let's load our design. How are we doing? Could you show us how? Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that basting box too. All right, so I'm going to go home, embroidery, candy corn, and we are looking for the witch that is, which witch is it? She's the one, this is the one you want. I mean, it wouldn't really matter, right? But this one with the spider coming off of her hat. Right here. So for me, it's the third one that shows. I'm going to go ahead and put that one in and set it. Everyone have their design. I'm going to hit embroidery. And if you want to add a basting box, so one thing I don't like about the basting box is sometimes I feel like the needle going in leaves holes that are there. And so, but if you do want to add it, you're going to go to layout and right here. And that is if you're on a Luminaris Solaris, it's going to be on your layout page. You hit layout and it's going to be the box with the flower and the basting stitch that goes around it. If you're on a Destiny or Dream machine or, you know, a lot of those machines, it's going to be your second edit page. And there you can see added the basting box and then I just took it away. So I'm not going to add one to mine, but I know a lot of people add that basting box to kind of hold everything in. I just go, I'm going to press it out so it's going to look perfect anyways. Let's come on over here. And our instructions tell us, page 26, we are going to first of all remove the clear plastic from the glitter and we're going to stitch the spider detail. So remove your glitter and you're going to need to put your black thread in. Black thread, ladies. I think something that I want to do with you, make sure we get it done, is we might not go in total order because I want to do one of the flying geese with you in the hoop. And we're not going to be doing the pinwheels. I'm going to do the pinwheels with you later. But go ahead and stitch out the spider detail. I'm looking at it going, should I put a matching bobbin or is it going to be okay? So, I mean, this is really fine stuff. I should have put in a matching black bobbin, but I'm already committed, so I'm just going to let it stitch out. Or, you know what? I am going to put a black bobbin in. Sorry, ladies. I'll look at it more carefully next time, but sometimes when you have that just like that running stitch, just from the needle going in, making a hole, I'm going to put black in there. If you haven't started yet, go ahead and put your black bobbin in. We'll pay more attention to that next time. I'm going to go back. And it's, you know, how picky are you, right? I'm pretty picky. I'm just going to go back to the beginning of that. And let's stitch it out. As far as my this goes, I'm just going to bend back a corner. And I'm just going to get it ready. I'm not going to totally take it off. I'll just stitch it like this. I'm telling you, those spider legs are going to look better with that black bobbin in there. And if you're going to do this again, you might want to add a little note to your instructions just to change out to a black bobbin. He looks pretty darn good. Next step is going to be, it says stitch the hat placement line. It is telling you to do that in purple, so go ahead and change your thread out. This is going to be a placement line. It's going to get covered over. I'm going to just leave my black bobbin in there. And ladies, I'm stitching with this with you for the first time too, just because the time it would take for me to stitch it out and then do a whole second one. So some of it's on the fly. Okay, this is the placement line. Then you're going to place your black glitter right side up. gonna tape this down right in the corners. Or not the corners, but I'm gonna tape it down. I'm gonna put it on like this. And I'll tape it down on the edges. You wanna have at least 1/8 of an inch over your stitch line. And let me get some tape. I'm just gonna pull this thing off. Look, it's stinky. All right, right here and up like that. I'm just gonna put a piece up on the top. I can get it off my fingers. I'll put a piece down here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stitch it down. It still wants you to leave the purple in there. This is the hat tack down. And I'm just holding it down here. Then it says trim as desired. So if you have them, get your curved straight edge scissors. And heat up your iron because we're going to press it after we trim it. I'm going to heat up my iron. I'm going to back this thing up. And let me slide this out. I'm going to go ahead and trim this up. Take off my tape. I need like a wall in my house where you walk in, and then I can just have, you know, have something seasonal displayed. I'm really a horrible homemaker. I'm not very good at really bad at decorating. I think Patrick should do that. Don't you think? I've gotten him to take over vacuuming, and he does laundry. What do I do? Do I not do anything anymore? Anyways, I'll get him to take over the home decorating too. I'll have to, after the sew along, I'll go tell him that we'll redefine his domestic diva duties at home. Lori's giggling out there. Okay, get your press cloth. How you doing, Miss Kathy? You trimming with us? You know what, Paula? You're right. I sew. Oh, look how cute that is. Okay, I'm going to take it over to my pressing station right here. I've got my pressing cloth. And just lay it on there and just give it a little press. I don't have time for anything like that because now I have Momo. And Momo takes up all my time. Okay. How's that, ladies? Isn't that cute and sparkly? Alright, let's come on back over here. And I think we're just going to be stitching up the little detail and the legs, which are so cute, and her little tights. Alright, that was step 2 and 3, and then we pressed the glitter. And now it wants us to leave the purple, and we're going to stitch the hat band fill. So let me go ahead, and I'm just going to hit start. And here's the hat band fill. And then after this, it wants us to stitch the hat band buckle. So get your gold thread out. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to use this right here. That's your next color. While it's stitching that, ladies, go ahead and rip your tearaway off of this. If you're using tearaway. If you're using cutaway, I mean the no-show, I think you're just, it doesn't talk about like taking that off. I just feel like it gets a little bulky. I've got this on my lap right here. I'm just tearing this off. I'll get out my scissors if I need to really get in there. We'll come back over here. Just know I'm like doing something while this is stitching because we have a lot to do. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and put this in and I'm going to do the buckle. Okay, put your buckle in there. After you do the buckle, it wants you to do the legs, so you're going to keep your purple close at hand. I'm just going to get rid stabilizer while we're stitching. How do you ladies do with multitasking? Do you find it, is it confusing? Are you okay with it? Do you feel pressured? If you do, you can just trim them later. I just want to show you how to do that. How I do it for my best result. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. This is step 6 out of 9. It's doing the leg fill, and I'm going to continue just getting rid of my tearaway. And ladies, mine are, I use this as decor. Mine is not getting washed. It is gonna be here in the store, or it's gonna hang up on a wall. So if there's a little bit of stabilizer left in there, I'm okay with it. And while it's stitching that, I'm just going to come over here. My iron is already hot. So this is, I mean, it's a little bit of a weave. So I'm gonna iron one direction and then I'll go the other direction. I'm not worried about any of that. You know how it's a little bit wavy? That'll all get taken out when I press it. You want some moisture to the back. I'm gonna go up and down first. Okay, and I'm gonna check. You just want to press it till it's dry. And look how nice and flat that is. Perfect. Looks great. If you have a pair of side hoppers, you can come in here and you can get rid of those little jump stitches in between the letters. I like to do this kind of stuff like sitting and watching TV. And then we'll go ahead and trim it up. Cute. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna put this on my mat so it's ready to trim. Let's see what thread color we need to change. Okay, this goes over here. And back to Emmy Witch. And we just did step 6. We're in step 7, which is stitch the leg stripe fill. So I'm going to put in, is that black, ladies? That's black, right? It's not gray? Okay, I'm going to put in black. Grab that thread. And that's going to be 2 minutes of stitching. While it's stitching that, I am going to, I got confused for a second. I'm going to go back to page 24 and see the sign. Oh, look at your sign. Okay, so to trim the sign, it wants you to use your 4.5 by 6.5 pop ruler and your 6.5 by 8.5 pop ruler, and I'll show you how to do that. I'm gonna wait. So after it does this, I'm gonna show you while we're stitching out the shoes, because the shoes are gonna be 6 minutes, so we have a lot of time there. Here are my 2 rulers I'm going to be using, and you're going to nest them. So we're going to put one inside the other one. We're going to trim and then take one out. So let me put those over here. While it's stitching that, let's look here. It says finished square is going to be 4.5 by 8.5. You're going to visually center the design. So we're going to center. Sometimes they want you to line it up like at the bottom. So visually center the design using your 4.5 by 6.5 and your 6.5 by 8.5. Your orange pop rulers nested together. Cut the side edges of the block shown in blue. Do not cut the top and the bottom edge. So we're going to center it, cut the sides. Carefully cut against the edge of the ruler, and we recommend using a rotating cutting mat for best results. And then we'll remove the 4.5 by 6.5, and then we'll cut the top and the bottom. You ready for that? Don't be scared. Some of you have done it like so many times, some of you haven't. Yes, the witch is in a 5 by 7. Okay, wants black shoes, so I'm going to go ahead and hit start and let it stitch. While it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and trim this up. Alright, the direction said to visually center this design. We're going to cut left and right. We're not cutting top and bottom yet, so don't worry. We're not going to cut the back or the bottom of the sign. Is he doing better?
He's like out running around,
Oh,
wrestling
good.
around.
Okay. All right. So, you know what's funny? If I line it up right here with the bottom, then everything else is kind of askew. Or did I just stitch it a little crooked? 'Cause I feel like it should be like that. Maybe we'll just do it like that's my center. That's my center. Maybe my fabric just wasn't totally straight. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it like that. I'm not too worried about it. But I am. I just can't seem to let myself do that. Maybe I was a little crooked. And I'm centering here to here, and then the top of my bat, and then the design. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and slice my left side, and I'm gonna rotate and slice my right side. Looks good. I'm moving my hands up as I go. I'm gonna spin it. I felt like on my other rotating mat, which I love still. Okay, so I did my left and my right side. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take this out, make sure the other one doesn't move, which mine did this tiniest bit. And now I'm gonna slice the top and the bottom. Don't like throw it around because your hoop is gonna move. All right, and then you're gonna use a ruler and you're just gonna go ahead and continue that cut. So I'm gonna grab this and move this out of the way. A different blade. Okay, here we go. And there we go. So we've got this one cut down. All right. 2 done. How are we doing, ladies? Let's check on those boots. Oh my God, I just hit my finger. It's really hard to, you just don't realize how much you need something when you don't have it, like a non-injured finger. So after it finishes the boot fill, you're going to put in your orange thread. You're going to stitch the boot flower detail, and then we're done with this one. So I'm going to grab my orange. There's my orange. And let that finish up. The next one we're going to do Boulevard Witch, page 27. That's a skinny one. So your fabric is going to be that skinny piece of the light gray linen. We want the skirt and the corset. So I'm going to get all that fabric together. So this is what you're going to need to get, okay? So you're 6.5 by 10.5, and you can check the measurements on this. Your corset is 2 by 2.5, and that's what this looks like it is. 2 by 2.5, and then your black piece is 3.5 by 3, which is 3.5 by 3. And then this piece. All right. Let's go ahead and put your orange in, and this is going to be the buckle on the shoe. Here we go. Oh my God, are those so cute? They're like little flowers. Done, ladies. Next one. We are at, let's see, 2 hours. So I think we'll do this one, and then let's do the flying geese, because I think you can kind of get the picture. And just having a schedule is going to keep you ladies on track. I'm going to be asking you to do your homework. So let me go ahead and I'm going to cut this out. A good pair of tweezers comes in handy. That is pretty darn cute, isn't it? There's our glitter. It's adorable. Okay, I'm gonna take this over here. We're gonna hoop up for the next one. Remember, this one you can just pop out of the hoop. We'll take the tearaway off in just a little bit. Let's get ready. We're gonna do Boulevard Witch. So I'm just gonna get my stabilizer. And you could pre-cut everything if you want. And here's my fabric right here. Remember, it's the skinny one because you need that other one. You're going to have a fat piece left. This is going to be the skinnier one. I'm going to go ahead and just fold it. Even though my last one wasn't too straight. My God. I just keep hitting my finger. Right. I'm going to put it over here so my head's not hitting. Oops, one up here. I mean, this is how much I cut off of the last one. So you can just eyeball it. You're going to have some extra, but you know, you want to be careful. Last thing you want is to not have enough. Oh good, look, I'm not even close to being in the hoop. Muscle. And I'm like a stickler for having it super flat, that, you know, when you don't have as much to go on the edges, sometimes you have to just make do, and it'll be fine once we press it, ladies. Gonna tighten this up. And the one we're doing right now, this is Boulevard Witch. Boulevard Witch is on page 27. We're doing all the witches. So it's this one right here. We grabbed our 2 pieces of applique material. This is gonna be the corset, the skirt, and then we're going to go back to our black glitter for the hat. Let's go to our machine and let's load our design. You know, I left my, I think I had my black bobbin thread in for that whole thing, and I think that was totally fine. Let's see if we need it for this one. We'll make the executive call when we look at the design. So go to embroidery. How are we doing, ladies? You know what we're in now? We're doing 5x7 hoop. We're doing the Boulevard Witch. And the Boulevard Witch has the little green curly things on the sides of her hat. So it's going to be the first one that you see. So go ahead and click that. And we're going to just set it. And I'm going to say embroidery. I think for the green curly things, the white's going to be better. So I'm going to go ahead and put a white bobbin in. And everything else should be fine because it's thicker stuff. There is that stitching, the corset stitching. I'm going to slide that on, and let's see what color thread we should put in. So it says right here, it's saying neutral color, so it's not going to matter, but our first color that is going to matter is the black. So I'm going to just put the black in right now. Here we go. So ladies, and I always show this, I don't pull back on my thread, but I unthread it. So I like already did this part and I just bring it around here, and once you get to here, it just falls right out. But what you don't want to do is pull your thread back through here. I used to cut it at the top and pull it out at the needle, but I don't know, I just thought that was a waste, so now I unthread. I unthread past step 2. I just go the opposite direction. Let's grab that. And first thing it's going to do is the placement stitch for the skirt. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. Here's my skirt fabric. I'm going to give it a little shot of spray. Go ahead and lay this down and then tack it down. and get your snips. We're going to trim it. And if you don't have snips, I think for this, because it's so thin, I use snips, but a pair of double curved scissors I think is best. Or applique scissors. Shauna loved her applique scissors. I'm just going to go ahead and trim this. Kathy, look how fast I'm going. I'm like super speedy trimmer girl. Not even going to take it out of the hoop because there's not really that much going on here. I mean, not out of the hoop, but I'm not even taking it off the machine. Not even sliding it down. Oh my goodness, it looks gorgeous. Okay. Now it wants to do the placement stitch for the corset. So I'm going to just hit start. This is the fabric you want. I'm going to give it a little shot of spray to the back. And I'm just going to go ahead and press it down and hit start. I still have my black thread in. I'm not even worried if I see anything else because it's all going to get satin stitched down. How are we doing, ladies? Give me a thumbs up or tell me where you're at.
Any awareness of stuff for Linda McDonald? I don't see anything, so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, alright.
You could see if she wants the new kits coming up, Patrick.
Which new kits are those?
There's the new one from the Vault. It's
the
online.
The bulk kit?
Yeah, it's on our promotions page.
So there's some stuff, Jenny was just asking me to point these out to me.
Look how beautiful her dress is. She's the most gorgeous witch. And Miss Paula's with me. Miss Stephanie is just starting the corset. Miss Kathy is just finishing the witch, so I think she's just finishing the other one. And why don't you just go ahead and get her all trimmed up. And where are the rest of you? What is the next design? So the one we're doing right now is Boulevard Witch, and it's on page 27. And this one's skinny. So she goes in, you want the long skinny piece. See how this one is the 8.5 by 10.5 background piece? This one is the 6.5 by 10.5 background piece. And if you accidentally grab the wrong one, it doesn't make a difference. You would just swap your witches, or you don't even have to do that either. So you're gonna need the skinny piece of background, this fabric for the corset, and then you need this black fabric for the skirt. Go ahead and just put your black thread in and do placement and tack down, and you're trimming both of those. Anyone else? Debbie, I'm just starting the witch. Okay. Miss Gail Cram is all good here. Alrighty. Once you have the corset, we're going to do the placement stitch for the hat. That is going to be step number 5. And you're going to see here, once you do the 4 steps where the color doesn't matter, it wants black. I already have black in there. And I'm thinking, just so it doesn't show through, I am going to put my black bobbin in. Just in case. Better safe than sorry. I'm almost out here, so let's get a brand new one. Sometimes these are hard to start. If you look on the back side, you can kind of look which way the thread is going, and mine's going this way. Take you out. Okay, gonna do the placement stitch for the hat. I'm gonna look ahead in our instructions. Get your glitter, ladies. This is going to be your black glitter again. I'm just going to put mine just like that. And I'm going to tape them down. Just going to tape it here. And I'm going to tape it up here. Hopefully I'm outside the stitch line. Oh, jeez. I'm just gonna, whoops. You know what? I didn't even look at my instructions. Are we using the same thread color? We are, yeah, we're doing black to stitch the hat tack down line. And then we're gonna trim it as desired. You know what's really hard is trimming when it's black on black or when it's brown on brown. It's a little hard to see. So we're just gonna challenge you. Oh my God, did I put the wrong, oh my God, Paula, thank you. Did you see that, ladies? I just totally messed up. The glitter should have been lavender. It's up to you if you want to leave it like that. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry about that, ladies. I did not catch that. Paula, thank you so much. Hopefully you're all behind me. I am going to take this out because I do want that purple with the black. And yes, ladies, pipe up if I'm so sorry, ladies. I'm going to rip that out. I'm just going to get it going right here. And I did not even catch that. I hope you forgive me. I hope you were falling behind, and so now you should be catching up right now, and you'll get the right one in there. And I could just rip this out and just stitch right on top because I know I'll have plenty, but okay, once I have it going, I wish I looked at your comment earlier, Paula. I think I was just in my zone. I'm gonna go from the back. Maybe it'll be easier this way. I think what it is, it's a double stitch. There we go. Okay. Let me see if I can get it now. Alright. Sometimes when you get the back and the front going, you can just kind of lift it up. Oh my god, I just touched my finger. Here we go. Let's see. I'm just pushing it up with my finger just the tiniest bit. I'll have to add a comment so that anyone who's watching this and stitching doesn't do that. I'll add something in there. I always feel so bad. I'm so sorry, ladies. That makes more sense, Paula. And if you're ahead of me, I'll just catch up to you. Oh, you know, Judy. You know, I'm going to have enough of this. I'm just going to put my purple on. This will just rip away. And let's just put the purple right on top. Okay. I don't want to keep you ladies waiting. I hope I didn't lead too many of you astray. Ladies, the grunge is here. You know, we were waiting so long for that. Give these threads a little cut so it's not quite as bulky. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put my purple down now. You just heard thunder. All right, let me get back. Leave that here. Hopefully most of this will get covered over and it's not going to be too thick. If it was just me, I would sit here and I would actually pull out all those stitches. I don't want to keep you ladies waiting. So we're just going to do that. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's do the purple glitter. Hello, Sherry. Take this off. Let me put this on. You want your black thread. You'll be able to see it perfectly. And I'm just going to hit start. Oh, you know what? Actually, let me go back. There we go. Let's get threaded up. If you're just joining us, good. Hopefully you missed that. I accidentally put down the black glitter when I should have had the purple glitter, but my ladies caught it. And that is step 7 for the second time. You're gonna go ahead that is step 6. We're gonna trim it down. Oh my God. Ladies, we're gonna have an upcoming class. And Michelle just did the channel. Isn't that gorgeous? It's gonna be the happy.
One line. The rest is the grid.
Oh yeah. So she used the grids, the grids on the Luminar or the Solaris. It is gorgeous. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and trim this as desired. And then, I love it, Michelle. It's beautiful. It's gonna be super, super fun. Heat your iron up, because we are gonna press this once we're done trimming it. Slip that in there. So this is step 6. I'm so sorry, ladies. I hope you weren't doing that with me, or that you read your instructions and you caught that first. I don't know how I could have missed that, because I was looking at my book. It's up to you however you want to do this little inside swirl thing. I think I'm going to come back and get it. There we go. Hopefully we get rain. I'm on YouTube and hear you fine. Alrighty. I think I'm gonna just trim this out a little bit. I've been in the Hobbit hole, you know, our back filming room, so I don't even know what the sky looks like outside. Hopefully we don't get lightning. Fire starter lightning. All right. Better? Does that look better, ladies? My iron's hot. Let's bring it over here. Teflon sheet. Give it a little press. Now you're going to have to catch up to you. Oh yeah, we need to move that. Here we go. Slide that on. We're gonna stitch the hat band fill. I think I have black in there, so I'm gonna leave that in there. And we're gonna put our black threads already in. So go ahead and hit start.
Please tell me if I'm gonna trip.
Nope.
Because I can't.
You can stop.
I can?
Yes, we're gonna set it up right.
Not threaded. Let me go back to the beginning of that.
Find the hole, fill it.
We have to actually like open that and have the boys put it up.
Did you get your lunch? You did it?
I'm just putting this paint underneath the sink.
I'm gonna wipe those down. They're kind of leaky.
Then you're gonna do the boot fill, and then we're gonna do the green for the hair. I don't know, maybe I'll just leave my black bobbin in. I think it'll be fine. The ladies are organizing. Okay, let's do our boots. And then we'll go ahead and we'll put the green in. Ladies, while it's stitching out the boots, go ahead and remove your stabilizer. And like I said, if you're using no-show mesh, don't worry about this part. I'm going to go ahead and take out the stabilizer. And this is from Emmy Witch. The ladies are unpacking the grunge that just showed up. We're just trying to figure out where to put it. I think there were 10, if I counted right, actually I'll have to check again, but I think there were 10 blocks that we were going to be doing, so you are going to have some homework. And you're just going to follow along with your directions, and now you know how to hoop. Now you know how to press and trim those blocks. I'm going to just take this over here. My iron is already hot. I'm going to give it a shot of spray from the back with my best press. Let's see what kind of fabric I have on the front. Okay. Are they cute? Those are the, and I'm going to press up and down, and then I'll press left to right. Take your tape off. Don't leave it on there.
That's so cute. So sticky. I need some more of that one.
Let's see if I can get this filming arm to stay a little bit better. And this one needs to be trimmed down to, I think it's, let's see. What do our instructions say? Oh look, there's no instructions with my cover because it ripped when I dropped it. Okay, this is Emmy Witch. 6.5 by 8.5. So let me grab my 6.5 by 8.5, which is right here. Give yourself room so you can rotate your mat. And I think it's gonna tell us to, you're just gonna visually center it. Oh, Michelle just said there's raindrops. It's a good thing. Does that look pretty centered? Hats and feet. And sometimes I'll get a ruler and I'll do it and I'll be a super stickler. But I think that looks pretty good. While you're trimming this, go ahead and put in the green. We're gonna do her hair and we're gonna do the detail on her skirt. Here's my green. catching up to you now, ladies? Probably. This happens and then I feel like, oh my god, I've got to go so fast. Okay, gonna come back over, square this one up. I am going to lean it in on the left-hand side. I'm going to keep my hand on here as I'm rotating so it doesn't move. We have these mats in the store if you want one. And let's just do it. If you want, we'll do a 20% class discount for these ladies who are attending the live feed. Because you need this stuff, right? You gotta have it. You can't not have this. Alrighty, that one can get put to the side. Mine is just stitching out the hair. Oh, look at that. I've got a big fray. I don't know if any of that's stitched. This is real life, right? It just happens. If that happens again, I'll just change out my needle. But I'm not sure if that's how it's supposed to look. I'm just going to go back and do that again. Let's just do it over. Whoops. It helps if you actually hit the thread button. What are we at? 4:36? Yes, Patrick.
So, registration closes for extended studies tomorrow.
Okay.
So, I'm like literally going to leave at 5 because I need to,
That looks so much better.
if Kai's gonna do it.
Yeah. I'm seeing a little bit of the black from my bobbin thread, but I'm okay with that because that makes her look even more spooky. Ladies, we will have gotten through the pumpkin, show and share, Emmy Witch, Boulevard Witch. I want us to go ahead and do the purple embroidered flying geese. And the other ones, they're all going to be homework. I'm going to do a video with the pinwheel too. So I'll do a video doing that. So if you're unfamiliar with doing those, you can just watch along and then do them with the video, and I'll post it to the sew along group. But let's go ahead and get everything ready for the flying geese, and that is going to be on page 39, and it's going to be this. And you are not piecing that traditionally. You are going to be doing that in the hoop. So we're going to be doing this in the 5x7. And for this, we're not taping it down like we did with the others. It just says cut stabilizer larger than the embroidery hoop, and you're going to hoop the stabilizer only. So I am just going to stick with that tearaway because you can just rip it away from what's pieced in the hoop. And let's get our pieces together. We're going to do this one first, so you're going to need your background piece, which is going to be this spider web. Mine just finished up the hair. I'm just going to put my foot down and do the detail on the bottom of the skirt. So I just started that. And we're looking for your background piece. It's 4.5 by 3 inches. 4.5 by 3 inches. Where is mine? why I can't find it. It's my bag number 2. So I only took out the things from section 1. This is in section 2. Let me grab that. I started to have a mini panic attack, but here is section 2. I'm going to take my section 1 stuff and put it away so I don't get all mixed up. Section 1 away. Here's section 2. And here is my background fabric. Let's measure it and make sure this is right because it wants 4.5 by 3. And if you look over here, it wants to do the outline of the skirt. Let me go back to this, and the outline of this skirt is, we did our boot, we did our hair detail, we did the skirt ruffle, and now we're gonna do the satin stitch outline for this skirt and the corset. That's all in black, and then we'll go to purple. So I'm just gonna change this out to black. And if you have to go, I totally understand, but I am going to do that one flying geese piece. How many of you pre-quilted? I know Miss Shelley Sonder did, and she said it was super cute. Here we go. Satin stitch on the sides, and then we're going to put our foot down, and we'll do satin stitch on the corset. Or I'm sorry, detail on the corset, because the corset we're actually going to do the satin stitch in that matching purple. Let's come back over here. I'm going to grab my piece. Let's go back to that page that has your flying geese. This is your 4.5 by 3.5, 4.5 by 3, 4.5 by 3. So grab that, and then you're gonna get your purples. So your purples are all 5.5 by 3 inches. So here's 1, here is 2, and here is 3. So I grabbed all of those, and I'm gonna put the rest of this back in the bag. And you can check these. They should be 5.5 by 3, and they are. Let me take my pins out. We haven't had rain. Oh, Paula. So you could pre-quilt the blocks. There is some quilting designs from Kimberbell, and they have an assortment that's for this quilt. And if you go through our affiliate link on our promotions page, you can just go to the quilting and then look by season. They'll be in there. All right. I'm just gonna have this ready. We'll finish up the other one, and then we'll go ahead and do this, and then we'll be done for the night. Okay, she is so darn cute. I'm just going to hit start again. It's going to do the detail on the corset. And then I'm going to have this color for outlining the corset on the sides. So this is step 12. Step 13. 13 says stitch the corset satin outline, and then you're going to remove your block from the hoop. You'll trim it up. This one's going to be a double pop ruler trim, just like we did before. So you've done that, where you trim the inside, remove the inner one, and then you're going to just trim the top and then connect them. So we may or may not have time to do that, but here is this. And I'm just going to go ahead and take out my black thread. She's cute. You guys might be way ahead of me. Yeah, I think those are meant to pre-quilt, but I'm going to use them and I'll put them on the blocks that don't have any quilting, and then I'll probably just stipple around the ones that do. Just because I didn't have time, ladies, to do all that pre-quilting. But Paula, if you print out the instructions, it explains how to do them in the instructions. Oh, that looks cute. I'll probably stitch out the other ones. I don't think I'll do them tonight, but I'll do them probably on Saturday. And I'll send a quick note out when I decide. I mean, and the note might come right before I do it, but I'll send a quick note just to say I'm live feeding it. And then you'll be able to watch it later too if you want. But I'll do the rest of the blocks. I'll film it. I know, instructions. There's something else, huh? That's it, ladies. Let's go ahead and pop this out of the hoop, and we're going to hoop up again. I'm going to just toss this over where my iron is. Let's come on over here. And we are going to do one of the flying geese. And it's pretty easy. You're just going to follow the instructions. So your instructions are going to say hoop stabilizer only. Hooping instructions, light mesh, cutaway stabilizer. I'm just going to use the tearaway. And we're just going to hoop the stabilizer. Don't worry about putting any fabric in there right now.
Very frost bottom, the rest of the new stuff in the middle.
Sure. Well,
They're not on the price yet.
what's on top? Can we put it all in a row?
Very frost is on the top two shelves on this side.
You want
But
all
I'm
these
saying the grunge. Can
Yeah.
we put the grunge all in a row?
So yeah, we can put all right here, you mean?
Doesn't matter to me where.
But right there, because we have that much.
Yeah.
Let me move the
Okay.
stuff down.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and
So at least we have enough for two.
here are instructions. So it says right here, look, we're gonna load it, and it says stitch the piecing template directly onto stabilizer and place geese A fabric right side up. So let's go ahead and load the design. I'm gonna switch back and let's just put my white in. You're not even gonna see the thread, it's just gonna be for the piecing. we go. Let's go ahead and thread color. Thread color, thread color. And we're going to be piecing and pressing as we go. Take that out. Okay, let's load our design. I'm having so much, will not do. Are you just vicariously enjoying this, Miss Linda? I do that sometimes. Here we go. Candy corn quilt, embroidery files, PES, and candy corn quilt. Let's find our flying geese right here. Let's make sure there's nothing else. And go ahead and set it. And let's look at our instructions so we don't go astray. First thing you're going to do is stitch the piecing template directly onto stabilizer. So let's do that. I'm just going to use that same purpley color that I had in. It's going to take it out, but I think it'll show up well so you can see the template on the stabilizer. I just heard the gal say it's pouring rain.
It is. It's blowing
And
like the chickens out there too.
I haven't heard that in so long.
We need a respite for the fire.
Okay, let's grab your floral purple print first. Let's see where it's stitching first. If it's up at the top, we'll do the doodle print. If it's down at the bottom, we'll do the other floral print. Oh, and you know what? It shows us right down here anyways. So, place geese A fabric right side up, completely covering the bottom geese section. And there is our purple, will it zoom in? Our purple floral fabric. I'm going to give it a little shot of spray from the back. When in doubt, read the directions and look at the pictures. I know, right? Why do that when you can just guess?
Directions stifle creativity.
Then Michelle just said directions stifle creativity.
It's very true.
And Lori agrees.
Right, you. I mean, you know. How creative is an upside down
Okay, we're going to go ahead and lay this down. You can kind of feel where the stitching is. And then it is going to just stitch right over here on this side. And we are going to trim right down that stitch line.
Yeah.
So trim fabric close to the stitch line. Let's go ahead and pull that down. And go ahead and...
I think so. Two of them, but that's all right.
Lori, go out there.
No, it's pouring rain, honey. Give me your keys. I'll go do it.
Make Patrick do it.
I'll do it.
It's all right.
Okay, so we just did this step right here. We laid the fabric down, we stitched it on that right side, and then we went ahead and trimmed it right there. So that's all of step 2. Step 3 says, or let's keep going. It says place one background fabric right side down, centered on the line stitched, and stitch the seam line. So you're going to take the background fabric right side down and center it on the line that was just stitched, and then stitch the seam line. So it's going to line up with that. All right, ready? Let's grab that fabric. We're going to line it up. This one is what we're doing right now. And you want to center it. So my stitch line is from here to here. Center it. We good, ladies? Everyone good? Let's slide it back on. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna stitch it down. Whoops, didn't lock that. Heat up your iron. we're gonna flip and press the fabric right side up. Okay, let me grab that. Let's take it out. That's why having a little iron is important. So you can flip it over and press it in the hoop. I'm just gonna give it a little finger press first and a little shot of best press to make it stay. My iron won't fit in that direction, so I'm just gonna pull it back a little bit and press it down. And look how nice and flat it lays. Okay, go ahead, back to the machine. Oh my God, just hit my finger. All right, next. That was step 3. Now we're on step 4. Step 4 says stitch the trimming placement line. Some of you get confused with this. How are we doing with it? We are going to stitch the trimming placement line. So go ahead, just hit start. I need to grab the rest of my spiderweb fabric. We need all of that. Okay, now that you've stitched that line, you're gonna trim. So this is your, let's pull this back. This is your trimming placement line. Trim your fabric close to the stitch line. Let me get my scissors. We're going to take our next piece. Remember, this is, you want to center it to this stitch and you want to line the edge up right with that. So I'm going to go ahead, center it, make sure you don't have more than one, and right against that edge, I'm going to slide it back on and we're going to stitch. And this is what you're going to do. You're just going to repeat it. We're going to flip it back and press it. Come on over here. Come on right here. I'm going to take it like this, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a press with my best press, so it'll stay nice and crisp.
Yeah, I think there was a small percentage. Oh, okay. But it was really small, Donna. Nothing kind of insignificant.
Okay, let's come back. Next step. So that was step, where does it say? Trim close, place fabric, stitch and flip. So that was step 5. We're on step 6 right now. Okay. Step 6. We're going to stitch the trimming placement line, and this one's going to go straight across. So the trim and placement line, we're going to trim the fabric close, and then we're going to place geese bee fabric, which is going to be your back fabric. So don't put anything down. We're going to just stitch our placement trim line. This is the fabric that you want next. We're going to trim all the way across. How are we doing? And you want to trim right above that line. And just pretend it extends all the way out. Well, that's a little thick. Let me slide that back a little bit so I can get it good. How is it, ladies? Is it gorgeous? I don't think those ladies knew I was talking to them. This is like stitched in there. I'm just gonna trim them. Okay. Let's go ahead and slide that back in. You're gonna place your next fabric down. Don't forget to center it. Like your stitch line goes from here to here. You want to center it so there's an equal amount on either side, and you want to line the edge of your fabric up with that stitch line. And I think that looks good. Go ahead and stitch it. All right, we're gonna flip it back and we're gonna press it. I'm gonna give it a little shot of best press. Let's come over here. Okay, we're good. Guess what we're gonna do next? We're gonna do a stitch and placement line, trim, lay our spiderwood fabric, stitch it down and flip it. Placement line and trim, and then we're gonna place our fabric, stitch it down and flip it. So same process.
What,
Let's go ahead and put it in. All right, ladies, this is step number 8. If you get confused, you can look at your instructions and look at your screen. Go ahead and do your placement line and trim.
I gotta go because I gotta get kind of stuff dealt with. Take the computer. I'll just leave it all there and I'll do it in the morning. Just don't knock it off.
Placement line, trim. You're going to center this to that stitch, and then you're going to tack it down. Okay, now we can be on a roll with this. Whoop. Connected. All right.
I'll see you later. Bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, back to the machine. All right, I obviously need a new needle. So we go ahead and cut that. I'm gonna put a new 7511 micro anti-glue, my favorites. Are you guys get this though? I found that when we would do these in the store, some people, and it's just our brain, some people, it was a piece of cake, some people would find it really confusing, and that's okay. You're just going to stick to your instructions, and make sure you're reading them as you go. You're going to look at your screen and you're going to look at what step you're on. Okay, next step, placement line and trim line. It's going to just stitch right over here.
Alright, so now it's going to. And then.
We're going to center this. We're going to trim it first.
Okay, you can let go a little bit. Yeah, that's alright.
And this side stuff's going to get trimmed down too. You're going to have a total trim line. Center that piece to that stitch line. You're putting the fabric right on that stitch line. Stitch it down, and then we're going to fold it over and flip. I'm going to slide it off, best press it, fold it over. And give it a little finger press.
Okay.
Let's come back over here. Now it's going to do the trim and placement that goes horizontal. We're going to trim it. Look how perfect that is, ladies. Your friends are going to be so impressed.
These two are also
Slide it off.
That's it, my dear.
I can't wait to see it.
It's so pretty.
Do you love it?
Yes, we love it.
We have the best glues now.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Michelle just said we have the best glues now. Okay, last piece is going to be this one right here. You're going to lay it down, center it to your stitch, and then put this right against the edge. Stitch it down. We're going to flip it and press it.
Do we have some clips we could pull off something else here? You have it here.
There's that start.
I'm going to take this off, bring it over here, fold it back, and give it a little finger press. Whoop.
The purple. Purple. Yeah. And then we can take off another.
Yeah, I would put two on there, so I
Yeah.
do that. Then we should have enough.
It's not on order, but I sure don't know when you're gonna do that.
They were in back order.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Now it's going to be placement and then trim. Placement right here and trim line.
Well, they can make all they do. This one, these guys are.
Isn't this fun, ladies? I know Linda's having a good time. Okay, trim it up. Oh, I didn't. Oh, that was right there. I thought for a second I didn't do a very good job lining that down, but I did. All right. Center your fabric. Place it on that edge. Stitch it down. trim this one too. Because if I recall correctly, this line here on the outside is going to be the line that you cut directly on. All right, take it out. And I've done these both. I've done it with cutaway, the no-show mesh, and then you don't have to take it out. Okay, one more line. Get your last piece. We're going to lay this down, flip it. This is step 16 of 18. We're going to trim it first. So I'll get trimmed down. Okay, center that to that stitch right on the line. We're going to flip it. This is stitch number 17.
Oh, I pulled it up. Okay. Yes, it is.
Flip and press. Oh my goodness. This is so cute. Okay, the last step, step number 18, is to stitch the trimming line. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to leave that same color in there. Just hit start. Make sure your foot doesn't catch and go under anything. I think we should be good. Just in case. So just make sure it doesn't catch any of that on the right hand side. I think we're fine. Looks great. There you go. Doesn't that look amazing? Okay, we're going to pop that out of the hoop. You're going to use a rotary cutter and you're going to cut exactly on that line that we just stitched. And your flying geese will measure 4.5 by 6.5. Let's go ahead and we'll trim this one out. And let's come around here. We had to be involved with that one, so we couldn't finish up the other one. Let me grab my ruler. Pop that up a little bit, and I'm going to trim right on that outline stitch. Aren't these colors fantastic?
So pretty.
They're so pretty. Did you start yours?
I didn't. I figured this weekend I would cut my pieces and then get caught up. I was going to call Jen and see if she started hers.
And let's do this one. We need to keep each other motivated, ladies. That's what we're here for. To help inspire each other and then keep each other motivated. And last stitch line, we're going to cut that. Look how gorgeous that is. So you are going to have some homework, but what you've gotten done is you've gotten done your flying geese. You've gotten done, I think this one was Emmy, which we did our pincushion, your show and share if you dare. And then this one you're going to have to go ahead and finish up, but you know what to do. Just to get rid of your stabilizer. And then if you want this not to be so bulky, which I don't, I am going to go back in here and I'll pull all this stabilizer. If you don't want to do with the stabilizer, go ahead and for these, the next one you could just get a piece of no-show mesh. That's what I would recommend to use for this. But these will just come away really nice and easy too. I'm just going to get that, take that out, and then it won't be bulky.
So cute.
And that's it, my friends. Any questions? I'm going to go. We'll see you, Paula.
Bye, Paula.
You're going to have to, yeah, so work on it. You're going to have a little bit of homework. Good night. Enjoy the class. We'll see you, Miss Kathy. You have a great night. And I will see you ladies next week. I'm going to just stay and just get rid of all of this stuff. This is just the, this was just the template, so you can just get rid of that. It's not going to hurt your project at all. And I will be stitching sometime this weekend, and I will let you ladies know when. I'm just going to get rid of all of this. I can't wait to see. Oh my God. Oh geez. I'm telling you, it makes me sweat when I hit that finger of mine. If you want it a little less bulky, a little softer, a little more pliable, go ahead and use the tearaway and just remove it. If you want it easier, just use the no-show mesh, because then you're not going to have to deal with anything. You're just going to cut it down, and that'll be it.
Right. Well, it is open. I mean,
All right, my lady friends, and then you have this gorgeous flying geese block. I will see you next week. Thanks for joining me. I'll send you a supply list on Sunday. That's when I get a chance to finally sit down and do all of that. And just get stitching, do your homework so we can stay on schedule. And have a great night, ladies. Bye.